Hooray! Hello Ronald, there in us and brilliant huge man's internet land and in particular YouTube space for those ones who don't know. I'm big backer of my YouTube space and you will never believe what. Actually, you will not believe. I'm kidding. Probably you will. We'll see. So I did do a heroic deed today, and believe me or not, I did clean. I actually cleaned cleaned my kitchen up, and it's some event that some might be like universe scale for me, because I'm not backer or any kind of fan of cleaning process at all, and that just happened. I don't know why I've chosen my day, and particularly for tonight for that activity, because I kind of got weary of living in shits, and it sounds like kind of like if you're just live alone, if you're probably guy, you probably my colleague in a way, you clean your kitchen. I do that very rarely, if ever, if I remember. I cannot recollect, excuse me, those instances of cleaning my kitchen, but I kinda that was a perfect storm at my kitchen, like at the Richter scale. The disorder there was 10, and I reduced it only to 7, so that may for some I don't know person that I know may step there and not to die out of just being infainted, or maybe out of some shock, because whenever I want to step in my kitchen, I am like in a bad mood because it was dirty, and now I cleaned it up, and I'm happy about it actually. If I'm mispronouncing and misusing some vocabulary stuff or sounds in American, I don't fucking care. If you're still with me, let's proceed with the story of tonight itself. So what I said, I wouldn't reiterate it here, and I did what? I poured the water out to my shallow plastic made bowl, and after that I found my duster, and I wet it, and then that rug became wiper, and after wetting my duster, and after that rug became in wiper, I started to clean the first thing that I cleaned was the plastic surface, upper like a layer or plastic layer of my kitchen table, big kitchen table. I was removing dirty spots that were ingrained in the plastic surface, and I was handing down that furniture set from my parents, and they been handing down that from their parents, from my mother's parents, and that's why I value that table, because otherwise I would just throw it away. I'm not a bigger guy for keeping all stuff in my place, but what I love, I save it for just let's put it this way, for later periods, and see what happens with those items that I'm happy owner of. So I cleaned my table that flanks to my wall, and it was interesting that that table just leaves right beside the wall, that my screen of my PC sits right beside the wall, and beside that, the same wall, my kitchen table lives its happy life. Now it's clean, it's proud of itself. I don't have any fucking doubt about it. So I cleaned the table with pouring some water out on the surface and letting it drench and soak for a while, and after having like a reprieve of maybe 4 or 5 minutes, I wiped it with my wiper, and several times actually, almost to the dry surface, and I cleaned wiped it I wiped it 3 times for better soaking and for better drying up, and then the surface became a complete dry land, and without any fucking dirty spot on it. I was doing my best at cleaning my beloved table, and then I moved the stuff that I put out for that surface to be empty, and then I put the stuff that been there previously on each item on its own place after removing that. It need to be back again on the places where all the stuff was, and I installed it, and I didn't just ruin any order in which those things been there in a completely dirt surface, and now they live their happy lives being at the cleanest place ever in the entire universe. Let alone speaking here about multi-universe. I'm a big follower of cosmic events and stuff. That is the track for separate story. I wouldn't unveil the stuff that I want to pitch in this particular video shoot of tonight. Let's save it for later periods. Excuse me. After my big kitchen table was clean, I started to wipe my windowsill, which is more easy task, I should say. Was the easy task, I should say, because it wasn't so clean. The dirt didn't get too deep, and I wipe it easily with simply using like 2 steps, wiping my wiper again and soap. Make sure that I prepared in advance, and after soaking this wiper in the soap, soap saturated water with soap bubbles on it. In it, I should say, I cleaned my windowsill, and I forgot to say that after all this process started, I put the spare washing machine that lives its happy life in my kitchen back to the wall, so I covered the breach in my wall after repairing my pipes, and now it flanks the wall without having any extra space between itself and the wall, and it flanks neatly, and it saves some more free space in my kitchen. I like killed 2 birds with 1 stone, if you get what I say. So back again to my story, wiping my kitchen. So after that, the the urge arises to wipe my stove. That was the most dirty probably item that I remember for my entire life, I should say, and I gave it like 10 minutes to drench completely. The upper surface of my stove is metal made, and I poured some water out on its metal made surface, and I let that thing marinate for 10 minutes for better soaking, and after that I commenced my process of wiping that stove. It didn't go easy, I should say, and I applied all my physical and mental abilities to remove that ingrained dirt out of my not even beloved, like regular stove, and it's shiny, it's even shimmering. If I turn my light bulb at my kitchen on, then you might see glimpses of hope on the surface. My stove is shimmering. It's perfectly and neatly clean, I should say. Right now, it's been living its happy life in my. I don't know if I can remember. For what period of time, from very date when I moved into my apartment, it was already there, my stove, and I like kind of gave it a second life with cleaning it up to that extent that I wanted in a long while that I didn't actually. But now I found my efforts and my desire and my will to wipe my stuff that I told you about in my session of tonight. So never go and chase as I did, and never just be so not motivated about cleaning your things up. And I said what I wanted, and again, after all this process was stopped, finally I finished it. I removed my dirty water. I kind of drained it in betweens, like I took how many sets? Do I count? Like 4 sets of wiping each item, like surface of my table, windowsill, and stove, and even walls that flank to the stove. and I took like 4 sets of changing water with soap in my shallow plastic bowl, which I told you already, and after that I poured the water out into the toilet, and that was the point that I remember pretty vividly, and I will never forget, because that some remarkable event for me. If you get what I said, then good for you, and keep doing what you want. I'll be familiarizing with my sheets as they unveil, and as soon as I get my aspiration and desire to inform you about it, I will. So thanks for being with me tonight and for practicing your listening abilities in your adorable American, as I revealed my speaking skills, as for advancing in my American, which is more just crucial making point for me than maybe for everyone else on the entire universe. I'm a big backer and I'm a big supporter of my adorable my own American, which I'm a big follower of. If I couldn't tell, then no can do it. So again, then you will be free to do what you want in your life. As my video shoot of tonight shuts down. And excuse me if I don't fucking care about anything that I said incorrectly. Be good and never give up. I'll be with you on it. Bye. Thanks again for being with me tonight, for practicing your listening abilities along with my speaking ones and my adorable American. Since I have whatever thought on my silly head, I'll be with you on my video session on this channel, particularly oriented for speaking purposes only. Be good, never give up. I'll be with you on. Bye. Thanks for being with me tonight.